Well, welcome back to another episode of Our Wild Stories. We're here talking about all of the experiences that I have had with meeting people over the years, being involved with Wildflower, and all the interesting people that I have had the pleasure of being involved with through race directing over the years. And today on the show, we are having the pleasure of having a past student of Cal Poly and a past racer of our event. So I would love to have you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about how you have been involved with Wildflower and how we've had the pleasure to have you on our episode today.
Yeah, I'm Libby Hodge. I was a member of the Cal Poly Triathlon Team. I was the former president from the 2024-2025 school year. I held other board positions before that. I graduated with a degree in microbiology, and I'm lucky enough to stay local and slow, still racing triathlon. I raced Wildflower last year, as well as all the collegiate races in the past.
Yes, well, near and dear to my heart as a Cal Poly graduate myself, and also everybody kind of knows the story with Cal Poly being an integral part of Wildflower, not only from the side of the triathlon team, but also providing a huge portion of our volunteers for the event for race day, but also that's where our race organizing team comes from and stuff like that. So I would love for you to share a little bit about kind of your Wildflower experience, but I kind of want to take it from a different perspective, because I'd like you to kind of picture back to yourself running down the finish chute in that cap and gown, because it captured the heart of so many people. And that's really what captured my mind when I look back, because I saw that picture. It kind of stood out to me of something that really I looked at and I was like, wow, that just means so much, because it brought back something that I have seen over the last 35 years of the event, is so many students who have had their experience of going through college and having that college tri experience and seeing somebody wear their cap through the finish line. It just meant so much. So talk to us a little bit about going through that finish line and then walking down through graduation a month later at Cal Poly.
Yeah, the idea came about with me and one of my roommates and teammates that year, Selby, because we were both graduating that year, coming back to Wildflower for the first time, and had heard all those stories and like from past Cal Poly, tri teams of what they would get up to at Wildflower, all the traditions. And we were like, we want something of our own. So I don't know if people had done it in the past, but we had come up with the idea to stash our gowns down at the end of the finish chute. We had planned to do the whole race together, and so we came into the finish chute at the same time. We actually stashed them with my sister, who was waiting at the end, threw our gowns on and ran across the finish line. It really is a way to kind of symbolize this is our last hurrah with the team. We'll always come back to the team and we'll always love it, but like our last race event before graduating. And it was it was a nice way to close out that year. Because, at graduation, we also get our Cal Poly Club Sports stoles. So we have triathlon with us there, but it was a more triathlon focused way to kind of honor graduating and moving on. And we hope people pick it up and keep going for the next couple of years.
I'm sure that tradition is so meaningful, and we hope that it is something that gets passed on for many people. And we hope that Wildflower can be that not only for Cal Poly students, but many other students, because it does become a hub for college students. We want it to be something that can be that final hurrah for athletes to come together. Yeah.
Especially for
something
Cal Poly tri people. Lots of people on the team, their first big tri event is our team camping trip that we go up to Lake San Antonio early fall. And it's kind of your first foray into like the craziness that is this sport. So it felt very full circle to kind of open that chapter and end it at Lake San Antonio.
So tell us a little bit about how you got into the sport of triathlon as far as at Cal Poly and your Cal Poly
Yeah.
experience and what collegiate racing was like for you.
Yeah, it really started outside of Cal Poly. I was a swimmer and a water polo player through high school. My freshman year at Cal Poly, I was on the club swim team and had a great time there. But it was kind of like I'm itching for something new. And my dad was training for a triathlon at the time. He used to do them when I was younger, but hadn't done one in years and wanted a training buddy. So I got roped into doing the Chicago Triathlon with him. We're from Chicago. And I did it and I finished that race and I was like, I kind of like this. And I think I had seen the triathlon team at, club fairs before, but it hadn't even crossed my mind that I would join. But after I finished that race and was like, okay, this is scratching the itch I have for something new. I came back to school that year, joined the team, and was kind of immediately welcomed with open arms by everyone on the team and was like, okay, I guess I need to find a bike to ride here. I need to find a wetsuit. I never looked back.
And Cal Poly actually has a great program for that. As far as I know, when they come on, I mean, they have some loaner bikes and some wetsuits and stuff like that. When you come in and you try that. So tell us a little bit. I mean, I know that there's a lot of colleges that may have something like it, but from talking to one of the Cal Poly coaches, I didn't even know that they had this. Tell us about what they offer to the students.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest values of the team is to make it accessible and affordable to people who are just trying the sport, who, I'm like, okay, I've done one triathlon. I have no idea if I'm sticking with this. I don't have the money to invest in a bike of my own. So we really do try and make it accessible for everybody. So we have a loaner bike program that the team runs, a loaner wetsuit program, where basically you can rent the equipment from the team. And it just gives you that time to decide, okay, I'm sticking with this. Let me look for my own equipment. And then most people who go through that way, you stick with it and end up with your own gear. But if not,
but it gives you a chance to test it before
exactly.
You call your parents and say, oh, and I joined this club and at this club dues and now a bike and now a wetsuit.
Yep. I know what I want for Christmas this year, please.
Yeah. Now you talked about, obviously you were hooked from the time that you did it. I mean, you obviously hooked enough that you went through being on the team and you got onto the executive board and you eventually became president. So talk to us a little bit about kind of what drove you into even being in a position and your presidency on the Cal Poly team.
Yeah. If you asked, most people on the team knew that I was going to be president before I decided I was going to, I was even interested in that. They had all decided you're the one for this job. And I said, hold on now, let's give me a minute to digest this and process this and figure out if it's something I want. My good friend Charlie had been president the year before, so I had kind of seen her go through it, which gave me a lot of confidence. And then I really saw the value in having someone lead the team I'm not the fastest. I'm not the most, I'm not spending the most time training out of anybody, but I really enjoy the sport and I'm doing it for the community and the enjoyment of it. And I saw the value in leading from that perspective.
And there is a lot of value from that leadership and having it be that sort of experience. So what has the Cal Poly experience and being a part of that team meant to you personally? And what did you get out of being on the team?
Oh, I've gotten so much out of it that, I don't even think I know right now. Like, I think in years down the line, I'll look back and say, wow, I'm so glad I got, whatever skill. But it's really, I think, brought me out of my shell in terms of leadership and confidence. I would call myself an introvert. Everybody else on the team is flabbergasted when I say that because they're like, you were up there leading meetings all the time and talking to everybody. So it really gave me confidence to be that front facing person for the team. It's taught me so much about what you can do when you just decide that, this is a goal I want. I never, imagined racing Olympic distance races years ago. And now I feel like I can just go do that whenever I want. Luckily, I'm still, in shape enough. But it's really taught me a lot about what, that kind of focus and also community when you're spending this much time with these similar people that are also like-minded and share those focus. It gives you a lot of motivation.
That's true. And I think that, triathlon is something that continues to challenge you time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
And it does teach you a lot about yourself as much as it does about what you're capable of in sport. So it does transition to life a lot afterwards on those sort of things. So when you go through your races and stuff, what are some of the things that you think your younger teammates would remember most about you?
I
On the
think,
team.
yeah. I mean, I hope they remember someone who was cheering for everybody, who was, having a good time regardless of how the day was going. Whether it was a real hard race, having fun, but also like knowing that you can take care of yourself. And, I had some injuries throughout the years that were not fun to deal with. But, took the time to heal and, treat yourself right and then come back stronger.
Yeah, and a lot of times those injuries are really hard. So what were
Mm-hmm.
some of those? We were just talking with, some of the other students about those mental challenges and how triathlon can teach you how to get through those mental challenges of things. So what was one of those injuries that you had to get through, and how did it help you get through those?
Yeah, I had a couple, but the one that was probably the most mentally challenging was I got some broken toes at the team camping trip, actually, up at the boat ramp on Lake San Antonio. So a
Oh
little bit of a
no.
that has some mixed emotions now. Um, but that happened right after I had just come back from another running stress injury. So I was super excited to be running again, and then was like, okay, time out. We're not doing that anymore. So like mentally, I was so ready to go and had to put it on the back burner for a couple months. But it helped me I was able to shift my focus onto, the stuff that I still could be doing at the time, and then came back, that much more ready to go when I was back to running.
Yeah, the recovery process can also be a strengthening process in other
Mm-hmm.
sports. And I think that's when triathlon can be really helpful, when you can actually still train for two other disciplines
Yeah.
if you have that capability of being able to do those sort of things. So now you talked a little bit about racing with your dad, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about that, because I think that's what's so exciting and might be a little bit of insight into why we're seeing such a boom in, because
Mm.
triathlon's talking about right now about how we're seeing the 20 to 29 age group, and there's such a growth in that age group in the sport of triathlon. And I personally believe that a lot of the reason we're seeing that is people that it's generations that are racing together. You're seeing this active lifestyle of generations wanting to race with generations and stuff. So tell us a little bit about racing with your dad, and how you think that that's brought you guys either closer, why it's been great to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely given us a shared, interest. And I think from his perspective, he loves it because it's something now that I still go to him with questions about. And, when I was off at college and didn't need my parents much anymore, but I'm, still would text him, what do you think about this new bike or this whatever thing I was looking to purchase at the time? And he really coached me through that first triathlon. I say the first one that I did was the Chicago Tri, but really the first one I did was the one we did in our backyard to get ready for that. Our house backs up to a lake, so we swam in our backyard and biked through our neighborhood and ran. We've done that year after year now as a family tradition. We haven't managed to rope any of our neighbors in yet, but every year we hope. And so
I have heard of some people that have backyard triathlons and backyard runs that they've made as a family tradition. So,
oh yeah, we've done it every year. It started just as him and I. The next year we got my brother and sister in. The year after that we got my mom doing it. So now it's become a whole family affair.
There you go. Hashtag backyard try. There you go.
There we go. Yeah, it's really just given us that shared focus that, you know, we're not, my dad's back in Illinois, I'm still in California, but I can, you know, it's always something to check in on. What have you been up to recently? He's been training through winter begrudgingly. But he's very excited that it's getting warm and he's signed up for Wildflower. So that's his big motivation that we check in on.
So that was going to be my question. Are you still racing after graduation? And are we going to see the two of you guys racing side by side at Wildflower this year?
The plan is yes. I still need to register. I will get on that soon. Yes, I have been racing less, definitely, as I've been navigating moving into working life. But the goal is still to race Wildflower and hopefully a longer distance race, probably later in the year. We'll see how everything goes. My dad is signed up for the Olympic this year, so this would be the first Wildflower we do the same event. He did the sprint last year. So
that would be fun. That's great. So do you think that college triathlon was the first time that it felt like, or you realized that you were doing it as your sport versus it being your dad's sport?
Oh yeah, because it was the first race that he hadn't, you know, I'm thinking of the Morro Bay try, that he hadn't done it before. He didn't know any of the questions. So I kind of I had the team, but I navigated that one on my own. And kind of was reaching beyond what he'd done.
So do you think now when you come to Wildflower, if you're both racing the Olympic, do you think there's going to be a little friendly competition between the two of you?
Oh, I'll win. I beat him every time.
I know my son's a golfer. My husband's a golfer, and I can remember the day when my son officially passed my husband up, and he's like, "Ugh, I hated the fact that I'm not even close to my son anymore at golf," and he beats me all the time. So
having my background be in swimming really gives me that leg up from the beginning that it's not really a question.
Yeah. So now you kind of have evolved from it being your dad's sport into your sport. I'd love to talk a little bit about your guys' bond with your teammates and what that was like and the friends that you made through college. So talk about those friendships that you made and some of those close friendships that you had with your teammates through Cal Poly and triathlon and what those meant to you and how those friendships still are to these days.
Oh, those triathlon friends are so different than any other friends you have. I don't know if it's the hours that we spend together, you know, training. When else do you spend 6-7 hours together with your friends? You know, I'm thinking of our Santa Barbara.
There's not a whole lot of sports that spend that long together, huh?
Yeah, you spend 8 hours just sitting on your bikes next to each other and you're hurting, so you better get along with the people around you because otherwise you are not having a fun time. You know, we all have to be a little crazy in the same way, I think. That really just brings you together. And I mentioned my roommate Selby, who we raced Wildflower side by side, but we trained together all the time and had a reputation on the team for being yappers. We would talk through every run we did together because we just, you know, it was how we spent time together was going on a run. And I still keep in touch with all those people, and we plan our get-togethers around Alumni weekend and around coming back to SLO and going on bike rides and how we can do that together still.
Yeah, and what are some of those crazy college moments that you think you're gonna remember forever? Is there one of those that stick out that's just like, "Oh my gosh, that's something that I just can't even believe that I even did in college."
Oh, there's so many. The century ride to Santa Barbara that, even when you're in college, you kind of can't believe you did it. And you tell other people who aren't on the tri team that, yeah, oh, I biked to Santa Barbara this weekend. And they're like, what in the world are you talking about? Getting to go to nationals my senior year was a standout moment, probably especially being on the mixed relay team there. The team I was on, we called ourselves the B team. We were doing it for fun. We weren't doing it for speed. So one of my teammates, Ewan, raced the entire thing in a green tutu and a green wig for Cal Poly Spirit.
Oh, those are fun. Those are times that you cannot, even give back. So, what is a time that you can remember, that you guys had that unspoken communication out on course? Because I've seen pictures that have been captured by photographers out there, and it probably helps that one of our photographers is a Cal Poly graduate, Carrie Peters, and so she remembers those moments, and she's captured pictures of just hands going by and just that giving a high five to another Cal Poly student as they're passing by, and that there's that unspoken word of like, you got this, as they're going past. So when can you remember that time that you've been out on course, that you've had that somebody kind of give you that high five of like, you got this out on course? When have you needed that?
Oh, I mean, all of Wildflower last year was that for me. I raced it with my roommate, Selby. We had planned ahead of time. We were doing the whole race together. We swam side by side. We biked the whole race together. We ran the whole race together. So that whole time, we were like, okay, we can do this. We can do this. We have been doing this all year. This is nothing new. We can just keep going.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of one of those emotional things I was gonna ask you. Is it more a celebration, a goodbye, or a beginning? Like, as you went down that chute, it must have been one of those things, and I guess it's a combination of all 3, but what was
Yeah.
as you're racing, you must have had, I guess, a little bit of all of those emotions.
Yeah. It was really a celebration, I feel like, of getting to that moment, getting through, all the late nights that year, the 4 years of college, the late nights, the early practices, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be here, had built into getting to this race and having a fun race, really. Um, and getting to kind of, yeah, celebrate the friendships and the team in a special way.
Yeah. And I know, after you graduated, you came back because I was at the fall Cal Poly event that they did, down south, and I saw that you had raced that
Yep.
event. So what was it like coming back and seeing your team put on their triathlon and be able to come back and race their event as an alumni?
I love it. I love that I've gotten to stay local. And, I was at their Heart and Souls 5K race last weekend. Someone called me the team mom now, that I just get to come and cheer everybody on and have a good time and volunteer or race, and still be connected and kind of bring that spirit and encouragement to the team now that you know, don't have the stress of the day to day management. I just get to come and have fun.
Yes. Well, talking about fun, some of our closing questions here, it's called the fun and rapid
Okay.
fire segment we have here.
Okay.
So if you have a choice, is your favorite segment swim, bike, or run?
Swim, without a doubt.
Swim. Okay. Favorite distance, super sprint, sprint, Olympic long course.
Right now, Olympic. I haven't done a long course race, but I don't have a sprinting bone in my body, so longer the better.
There for the long haul, huh?
Hmm.
Okay, what do you miss most? The van sing-alongs or group rides?
Oh, I mean both, but right now I'm really missing riding with groups. They really keep you going.
Yes. One piece of gear you can't live without.
Oh, I'm not very particular when it comes to my gear. I kind of just go with anything, but probably headphones.
Headphones, okay.
Listen to music or a podcast or something to keep you entertained.
Favorite place to shop, which everybody's probably curious about since you're still
Hmm.
staying local.
I mean, I love a good trip to GH Sports. You can get anything you need there.
And what people probably don't know is GH Sports has been around probably as long as Wildflower. So I can
Probably.
still remember the committee gear of having GH Sports. And at that time, we all had really short committee
Hmm.
shorts. So
I
um,
love that they keep track of all my running shoes and whatever, so I can just go in and they know what I need better than I do.
yes, there you go. That's a good hint for everybody on that one. So favorite meal out in slow.
Ooh, probably a burrito from Tacos de Acapulco.
Oh, that's a good
It's
one. That's a good
yeah.
one.
My mom went to Cal Poly, and that was around when she was there, and it was her favorite. So I've been indoctrinated.
Yes. Your go-to swim location.
Oh, out of any swim location, I'm gonna say Lake Michigan. It's
Ooh,
just clear, and most of the time you don't have to deal with the waves.
okay, that's a good one. Your go-to ride location.
I love going up to Lake Lopez, where MTS course.
That is, and that one's coming up for anybody who's
Mm-hmm.
listening to this. I think we're probably going to be able to get this posted online so we can give a good plug for
There
MTS
we
to go
go.
race that
There we
race.
go.
And then your go-to run location is the obvious next question.
Oh, let's go with MDO. I love it's a good change of scenery from my slow runs.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, favorite college race memory in one sentence.
I probably have to go with that mixed relay from nationals with all the costume get up. That was just fun.
That's a good one. So, well, I want to thank you for sharing your time today. I know that it was very inspirational for all of us to see, and we will be posting that picture of you guys going through the finish line because I think it will bring up a memory for not only you guys going down that chute, but I think that several people who have been able to go down our long wildflower finish chute, it's going to bring back many memories for them because we've had the Cal Poly Tri team as part of our wildflower finish for so many years. And I think you
I'm
were
sure.
able to just capture it so nicely of exactly how much it
Yes.
meant to so many people. So thank you. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank you
leading
for having
the
me.
Cal Poly team with such leadership, with such kindness, and being a part of our wild stories. And we look forward to having you there this year and
Thank you.
having your
Yeah,
dad there this year.
I can't wait.
Yes. So we appreciate your time on today and we look forward to sharing our story with everybody. So thank you so much for taking your time out today and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Libby, so much for
Thank
coming
you
on.
guys.
And
Yeah, of course.
it was great to be able to share that. And we will be putting it together and hopefully getting it up in the next week or so.
Awesome.
Okay, perfect. And we We'll hopefully get you registered here real soon. I'll send you a link so
Yes.
that
Okay, great.
you're going to be getting all the Cal Poly discount and stuff. So
Amazing. I know. It's been high on my to-do list. It just hasn't gotten done yet.
yeah, don't worry about that because we do something different with Cal Poly grads anyways, because you guys continue to get the collegiate discount. So
perfect.
okay, thanks. Have a good day.
We appreciate it.